I'm glad I'm going before Israel.
Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez resuming the criminal docket for the 210th Court for May 3rd, 2022. Again, all matters being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Madufo, would you call our next case, please?
In cause number 2021 0D02881, State of Texas versus Luis Puente Garcia. Announcement of council, please.
Well, King for the state of Texas.
Morning, Your Honor, ma'am. Matthew DeCoates for Mr. Luis Puente Garcia. Ready to address the court, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. DeCote. And I'm just quickly, I think we received some communication from medical folks over at the jail. Let me see if I can find this really quickly. That your client has some health issues, and let me see if I can see what the request is. We're scheduled in any event for a bond hearing. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So it looks like he is, they informed the court he has got some, I guess, intense treatment 4 times a day for 4 weeks. I don't recall, Miss Hernandez or Mr. DeCoates, have you had any more recent communication like yesterday, today? It looks like they were trying to get in touch to see if someone else could assist in some type of treatment. Mr. DeCoates, have you received any information?
I didn't receive any information from medical other than what the court sent me yesterday. I spoke to my client very early at the annex. He indicated to me, and of course he's not a doctor, but his view was that he has blood clots in his brain, in his legs, he has liver disease, and he has liver cancer. So I did go and talk to him about 6 in the morning, bright and early, and he didn't seem to be doing too well. He was in a wheelchair. They were kind enough to bring him pretty quickly and stuff. That's pretty much all I know, Your Honor.
Okay.
The bond is a 25-25 split. He doesn't, the only person that would allow him, the only relative he has is his sister, and she lives close to downtown, but her name is Nelly Hernandez, but he only knows where she lives. He doesn't know the precise address. I mean, he can find it, but he doesn't know it.
Okay. So what I'm unclear on, I guess what I had questions about in this communication was, it says currently the hospital is requesting we place this inmate in a LTAC due to his medical needs. They don't like having our inmates. However, they've been in contact and they might be able to work something out. That's why I was asking if there was any further communications, because I guess they were giving us the heads up, but might have had a potential resolution. And is anyone, maybe Mr. Marufo, does anyone have any contact with the jail with, who is this, Christina Morton, to get an updated status? Can we contact them, please?
Hey, Judge.
I don't know what LTAC means, Your Honor.
I don't either. That's why I need more info here. I certainly don't, want to ignore the medical concerns here. Mr. Marufo, she has I don't know if you have this email, I'll forward it to you, has her contact information. If we can try and contact her and see if we have an update. In the meantime, though, Mr. DeCoates had previously filed a motion to reduce bond and long-term acute care. Okay, so there's some type of unit. I don't know. I want to know if they're amenable to assisting us in his medical needs. And if not, I will take that into consideration for the bond hearing. Let's go with the bond hearing, Mr. DeCoates.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. My client is 61 years of age, born here in El Paso, Texas. He went to Austin High School. He's relatively young. He's 61. I'm 63, so he's very young. So he went to Austin High School a while back. Most of his life has been doing landscaping. He has 2 children and many grandchildren. His sister Nellie Hernandez lives on Kessler Street near an elementary school. Now, the biggest problem my client has had is any communication with Leticia Ramirez, because every time he's had communication with her, he gets sent to the pen. And we discussed that at great length this morning. The instant charge basically says when before he was released, he apparently sent a letter to Leticia Ramirez a couple of years ago, back in January of 21, saying that he was going to be released. That's all. He just wrote it on the parole paper and sent her a copy of it. Not a very wise move, but whether or not that's a harassing communication, I really don't know. I told him, I said, look, I have one question for you. Can you stay away from Leticia Ramirez? And he said, yes, I can. So that's where we are at. He's been locked up quite a while. So if he gets out, he'll have to, if there's nowhere for the court to place him, he would have to contact his sister to see if she would allow him to live there, or if she were to say, I'm tired of it, no. So that's where we're at, Your Honor.
Ms. King?
Your Honor, the state respectfully opposes the bond reduction. This is the same victim as previously in the violation of protective order out of the 384th in 2016 and 2017, also out of the 384th. The court did issue a lifetime protective order on this case, and also a brief history, a criminal history of this individual. We have 1979 larceny, 1980 unlawful carrying of a weapon, burglary of a HAB in 1981, 1985 we have a DUI, 1986 we have a burglary conviction, robbery in 87, 89 we have a DUI, 1990 we have a harassment, 1991 an assault, 1996 possession of controlled substance, cocaine, 1997 assault, 2003 criminal mischief, 2004 DWI first, 2005 DWI second, and I can keep going.
Well, I don't know if there's very many recent ones. And the other question that I have, and I spoke to this about Ms. King, but she pretty much blew me off last time, which is her prerogative. But Judge, this protective order was allegedly issued on March 27 of 2020. I looked up the civil records on it, and the alleged notice to him came back not being served. So our legal defense is he can't be bound by a protective order he was never served with. But I know the state thinks that's a silly defense, but I don't. So that's just my position on that.
Okay. Let me just ask, is there anything else in terms of the bond hearing? Mr. Dakota, this is my thought. I hopefully can get a quick update on the ability to have his medical needs attended to by that LTAC unit. And so unless there is something more on the bond right now, I'm just going to hold off briefly in making a decision on the bond until I know what the medical care situation is. What we find out, I will forward to you, Mr. Dakota and Ms. King. And if we need to come back and continue anything in terms of the bond hearing, I will allow you to do that. But for now, to me, that's one of the overriding issues. I do understand the state is opposed to bond reduction, and it's 50 split 25-25, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And he has, I would imagine, no resources, Mr. Dakota.
Absolutely none, Your Honor.
Okie doke. Okay, so let me see. I don't want to hold you all here as we try and figure out any updates, but if I need to have you all come back, I'll let you know, and maybe we can look at it this afternoon. But let me see if we get a response on that, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. King.
I appreciate your time. Thank you, Mr. Decotes.
Have a
Who's
good day.
next? You two.
We got the interpreter here for Mr. Luis Gonzalez, Judge.
What page?
In cause number 2022-0D0-0888, State of Texas versus Luis Fernando Gonzalez. Now on our council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
And Daniel Abelard for Luis Gonzalez. Good
Okay,
morning.
still, good morning. He's still connecting to audio, so let him connect and then Ms. Garza can speak with him. And then we'll put on the interpreter. Mr. Gonzalez, can you hear us?
Ahora sí, ya. Buenos días.
Ms. Garza, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge.
Ya no soy yo nada.
I think we need to turn off the interpreter function, please.
Thank you. Okay. Señor González, buenos días. En un segundito van a aprender la función de interpretación. En su celular, cuando toca la pantalla, van a salir 3 puntitos que dicen more o más. En esos 3 puntitos, cuando lo selecciona, va a haber una opción que dice Language Interpretation o interpretación de idioma y después le va a dar la opción de español. Entonces son los 3 puntitos, Language Interpretation o interpretación de idioma y después español. Ya la van a aprender para que esté disponible, ¿ok?
Ok.
Ok.
Sí, señorita.
Okay, and he is utilizing the assistance of a court interpreter. We're here for a review hearing on the bond. The charge is a driving while intoxicated third or more offense. So you know, Mr. Gonzalez, this is a standard review that the court conducts on these types of cases. Let me just go back and look at the bond order. Ms. Nieto, do you, I'm trying to find the bond order. Did you show, I show a 10,000 cash surety with a 20,000 PR component. Is that right?
I'm looking it up, Your Honor. Just a moment, please.
I think that's what I see the JMAG order from November 9th, 2021. Mr. Gonzalez, are you operating a motor vehicle at this time?
No, voy de copiloto.
Okay.
And Judge,
Mr. Abelard, do you know, does he have the monitor?
at the time, I don't know that he has it now, Your Honor. I know at the time he didn't have it at the bond hearing.
Danny, I'm sorry, if you're talking, you need to select English. I haven't heard anything you said.
You can't hear me, Your Honor? I'm not on mute. No, Judge? No, Your Honor?
So you need to select English from the interpreter function. In the meantime, Ms. King, can you tell me a little bit of history? Is this a true third?
It's a true third.
This is a true third. The first one was actually dismissed, and the blood came out to be 0.083, and there's very minimal criminal history.
Okay, okay. So then, do we know what type of monitor he has? Does he have an interlock or what does he have?
Judge, he was ordered to get an interlock.
Okay. Let me double check.
Kind of looks like Justin, how Your Honor.
Espérate, Rolando.
Okay, so this being a true third, and I don't want, because we've had so many issues with the monitors in terms of the suppliers and trying to have them switch over. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to go ahead and I've reviewed the bond order that you have. I'm going to leave it as is. Normally, the court would make some changes, but I know that the providers who supply these monitors have been having a lot of issues in maintaining, I guess, a normal supply of monitors. So I don't want to switch you out because that could mean that you wouldn't have a monitor due to, I guess, some types of shortages. So I have a good PR report, Mr. Avalar, from him that he is compliant with the monitor. Just remember, Mr. Gonzalez, you may not operate a motor vehicle unless you have that interlock on the vehicle you were driving, and you must have a valid driver's license and insurance. So as long as I'm receiving good reports, Mr. Avalar, we won't have to come back and address this issue. Mr. Gonzalez, please maintain compliance on the monitor and all other bond conditions. If there becomes an issue, then I will look at switching out your monitor. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Avalar. Mr. Gonzalez, you all are good to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Garza,
Gracias, muy
thank
amable.
you again for your assistance to the court. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Turn off the interpreter, and who's next?
The next one, Judge, is cause number 2020-0D0-4150, State of Texas versus Leslie Onsures. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Israel Parra here on behalf of Leslie Onsures.
And Sandra Laris with adult probation.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Parra. I believe she's connecting. Let's just let her connect to audio. Ms. Sansudas, do you hear us? She's still connecting. Miss Sansudas, are you there? She's connected, but she's not, I don't think, audio connected. Okay, it looks like she's connected now. Ms. Onzudas, if you could unmute. Good morning, Mr. Parra. Ms. Alanis, we are scheduled for an admonishment hearing. Ms. Alanis, could you please give me a brief summary?
Yes, Your Honor. So Ms. Unsuris was placed on DWI probation back in May of last year. Since then, she was ordered to obtain the alcohol monitoring device, which she had. Her device was on lockup for a long period of time since January of this year. When I did talk to Ms. Onsuda, she explained to me that it was due to financial issues, that she was not working. She didn't have a job, so that's why she was on lockout. In February of this year is when also she told me she gained employment and she was going to pay her device. In March of this year, I talked to Ms. Onsuda as well, asked her what was going on because she still had not gained compliance with her device. She didn't realize that she needed to pay, I guess, the whole balance that she owed. She had only made like partial payments. I did confirm that as well with the device company. So that way she can go ahead and get it back and installed. She was ordered to go for a drug and alcohol test, which yielded negative results. Again, March of this year is when a violation notice was submitted to the court. And then that's when my recommendation was to have her screened for the family preservation case loop. And then on March,
So I'm sorry, Ms. Alanis, she has a monitor right now, right?
she does.
Okay, and we still have, I see in the report here that we have still some non-compliance issues, skips on
Yes.
April 1st, 4th, 5th, 9th, and 10th. And then there's this recommendation for the family preservation caseload, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, when does she term?
She terms on May of next year, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Parra, have you been able to speak with Ms. Onzuris? Maybe on some of these recent issues?
Today, no, Your Honor.
Ms.
I
Onzuris,
was
I'm
just
not,
like,
sorry, there's a little
go
bit
ahead,
of,
Judge.
there's a little bit of a delay or interruption on the audio. Ms. Onzuris, you have the monitor right now? Please unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, you know, I've been pretty lenient or understanding because I understand you had some financial difficulties, but we had, I know previous lockouts, I believe, and then you restored the monitor. So that's a good thing, but I still don't have you compliant and I'm not really sure what other issues there are. What is the issue with, why do we keep having these skip tests? We have like several within a period of 10 days.
I think that's the one that I didn't have it connected. I think it's that one.
I'm showing skips between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. on April 1st, on April 4th. If it's not connected, I'm not sure what exactly that means. I wouldn't imagine that it would be able to document a skip.
Okay.
So you're skipping tests in the morning. Is there some reason for it?
Yeah, I'm having some trouble to wake up. That's it. I'm sorry.
That's not an excuse.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Ms. Alanis, what issues are you all identifying in terms of having this modification into the family preservation caseload?
So basically she's already been accepted into the family preservation caseload, but before I transferred her, they wanted me to go ahead and have these issues addressed with the court as far as her skipping, because like you can see, she's still continuously skipping. I think what it is with her is that she lacks, what is the word? I guess just being organized in all, because she is late when she also has to go pay for her device or when she has to go get it
Calibrated.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's kind of late with that. So I don't know if it's just her organization, her lack of motivation, responsibility and stuff, is that what's basically her barrier right now. But once she gets into the family preservation, hopefully they'll be able to help her with that. And
Mr. Parra, thank you, Ms. Alanis. Mr. Parra, do you have any input?
Not at this time, Your Honor. I have not spoken to Ms. Onzuris. Actually, I was just notified of the hearing scheduled for this morning.
Okay. All righty. This is where I am. I tend to agree, Ms. Onzuris, with probation. I think it's a maybe a discipline issue on your end, getting yourself organized. You know, not being able to wake up to test is not an excuse. So for right now, what I'm going to order to modify Ms. Onzuris is to add some ACOP days. She's going to do 10 days ACOP.
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
That you're going to do 10 days in jail for your failure to comply with the monitor and all the other issues that you've had with your terms and conditions of probation. There really has been nothing but issues. I'm not insensitive to financial issues, things like that, but you've managed to get the monitor squared away and then you're still not testing. So we're going to give her 10 days ACOP. I'm not going to require Ms. Alanis that she do them immediately. I think there is an issue of the jail being able to handle these, especially because I am not going to require that she do them consecutively. So I don't think the jail's taking them right now, but it will be added to her conditions of probation as a sanction for her non-compliance. So in other words, because you have not been in compliance, it's been at least, I think, since December, that is going to be added to your conditions. You're going to have to do 10 days in jail. Okay. The jail at this time is not, I'm not, oh gosh, I'm getting 1,000 hats here. Is not accepting them. So it will just be added as a condition for her to do. I'm also going to modify her to the family preservation caseload so she can, hopefully they can help provide her with some either counseling or something to help her get some life skills. I'll tell you this, Ms. Onzuris, if you show that over a period of time, you can be 100% compliant, I will reconsider the ACOP days. But for now, they're there, Ms. Alanis, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please send me the modifications for those and Ms. Onzures, get with probation, and they'll let you know exactly what you have to do. Ms. Alanis, will just keep us updated, okay? Mr. Parra, one of the things that we're getting on the chat here, I'm getting on the chat, is that you're not on this case. Maybe you represented her before? Myrna, can you tell me?
I did represent her before, Judge, on the underlying case.
Okay, so to the extent that I gotta assume you were appointed, if you need to resubmit a voucher, please do that, okay?
I will, Judge.
All righty, thank you very much. Ms. Onzures, get with probation, and Ms. Alanis, let me know if we have any other issues.
I will, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, take care.
Okay,
Mr.
thank
Parra,
you.
you're excused.
Thank you.
All right, who's next?
Paying on page 6, Judge, in cause number 2022 0D00512 and 2017 0D00480, State of Texas versus George Luis Roman. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King, Roa King for the state of Texas.
And Daniel Avilar for George Roman.
Maria Ortiz for adult probation, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're set for a probation status hearing and then a status conference on the new case. Let's start with the probation. Well, yeah, I guess so. Let's start with the probation case. Ms. Ortiz, can you give me an update, please?
On the probation case, Your Honor, his case is gonna terminate on May the 24th, 2022. So, let's see. I guess he was arrested on 6/25/21 and 10/21 of 2021. Doesn't say here why he was arrested, Judge.
So it looks like it's an assault, family violence with a prior conviction. It's really new, so I gotta imagine, what do we know? It's early on. We just had the arraignment. And maybe I was starting at the wrong place, Ms. Ortiz. What are we doing? What are we looking at here, Mr. Avilar, Ms. King?
Yeah, we just got the new case, Your Honor. As probation indicated, this was an arrest last year. It was in screening for the longest time, Your Honor, and so now it's finally landed in your court, Your Honor. We reviewed the case, but all we have is the narrative. There's no, there's discovery missing, like pictures and not, I don't know if there's a 911 tape, but certainly pictures are missing. That's kind of where we're at, Your Honor.
And he's not in jail. Have we had, was there no MTR or what's going on?
So back in February, Your Honor, there was no recommendation yet, of course, because it was still in screening, but we all did say that there will be a violation notice, but the KPS will not issue. It's kind of what we left it at.
Ms. Ortiz?
So there is an MTR filed, Your Honor, and that MTR was filed on February 10th, 2022.
And without a KPS? Yeah, that's what I agreed to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, well, Mr. Roman is going to, do you know what, I mean, Ms. King, do you know what update do you have on the new case? Like, what are we really looking at here? Are you all thinking you're going to offer probation again, or what's going on?
Your Honor, the last contact we had with the victim in the first one was actually March 8th of 2022. And she did indicate that she's still trying to work things out with the defendant. They've been together for 10 years. I personally would like to speak to her. I can do that sometime this week.
Judge, that sounds right, Your Honor. I don't mean to cut her off, but that sounds right. I think we can get her a non-pros, but nothing from what Ms. King is saying is surprising.
Well, but he's going to term on my probation case here pretty quick.
Yeah,
what kind of, Ms. Ortiz, what kind of history, aside from this new offense, what kind of history in terms of his compliance, performance on probation do we have on the 2017 case? Had we had issues?
So based on, I mean, he's completed BIP, Your Honor. BIP was completed on 1/14/2020. He's done TAP, he's done the parenting classes. The only thing, and
they've been reporting. I mean, the only thing would be just probation fees
Mhm.
that they haven't paid. Other than that, they've been complying and they've been reporting.
Miss King, I know got like everything on your plate this week, but you know, if what ends up happening on the 2022 case, you know, if it's going away in some way, I need to know that fairly quickly, because I need to know what I'm going to do on his probation case. Yeah, this is a second motion on this case. The previous motion was for a family violence. So I mean, I have concerns. Don't think, Mr. Avalar, that because, you know, maybe either, I don't know, it's not the strongest case for the state, doesn't mean I don't have issues still. But I like to find out what's happening with the new case before we either extend him or look at something else. Ms. Ortiz, has probation identified anything? I mean, I know he's taken BIP, but that's in 2020, and then we still have these allegations. I mean, I guess I don't feel like I have a good picture of Mr. Roman. I mean,
the probation officer doesn't indicate anything, Your Honor. I mean, basically, I mean, he's been reporting and he's been complying with his terms.
Mhm.
So it's just the 2 arrests.
So he has 2 family violence arrests. No,
The
Right.
one with
the previous
was
one was a family violence as well.
there was a decline of a case. Right, Ms. King?
Okay, so we're gonna come back in 1 week because I want to make sure we do it before that 24th.
Yes,
Sorry,
ma'am.
Ms. King. 1 week on Mr. Roman. All right,
Great, okay.
all right, thanks. Who's
Thanks.
next?
Page 7, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz.
Second on page 7, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
In cause number 2020-0D06556 and 2020-0D04363, State of Texas versus Rafael Villanueva. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Edward Hernandez, Deputy Public Defender, Mental Health Unit, on behalf of Mr. Rafael Villanueva, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Hernandez. We're here for a final judges conference. I know you were appointed recently, so, or your office was. You were, and then your office was.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, how's it going?
Well, Your Honor, I guess that we were waiting for the state to speak to
They're complaining, that's right.
right now. And I may just address our concerns is my client is literally timing out on this sentence while we're waiting to figure out what's going to happen. I know we're set for trial on the 19th. I mean, if we push it back, he may time out on 2 state jails before we get to trial, and he's sitting in jail in the meantime. So I've looked at discovery. We do have like 86 phone calls. I think they just recorded everything that I've not been able to access. I think this is a case that we could reach some agreement with. But I think it's kind of in the state's court here.
Sure. What's up, Ms. King? What's going on?
Your Honor, I also did notify Mr. Hernandez this morning. I am trying to get a hold of the complaining witness. I actually was up in the court yesterday, but she was busy, so I will try again today. Hopefully try to have some feedback sometime this week.
Okay. Let me see. Well, I mean, to me, if we're looking at a trial, we have our dates. Mr. Hernandez, you mentioned some outstanding calls. Is there outstanding disclosures, discoveries?
There's 86 phone calls, but for some reason I can't play them on our system. So that's something technical I got to work out. I don't know if maybe we could set a hearing in 1 week. Let me try to get these phone calls accessed and let this. But I mean, we're running up against a trial deadline, and
Sure
this might be the case.
We sure are. So I will put you back, but I'm going to put you back to May 12th. I mean, that's just the Thursday before your trial setting. So we can have our final judges reset for 5/12 in the morning, 10 a.m.
But
Okay,
and I'll stay in contact with Ms. King. I mean, this is a case that should be able to work itself out.
should be,
I
but
will.
we'll see. Okay,
Okay.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
We'll
Madam.
see you on the 12th. Who's next?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Going back to page 1, Judge,
Go ahead.
in cause number 2019 0D0 5421 and 2020 0D0 0540 and 2020 0D0 1164. State of Texas versus Vincent Jovan Horton. Announcement of council, please.
Guava King for the state of Texas.
And Myrna Pages for Mr. Vincent Horton, Judge.
Okay, all of them are set for status conference. What's up?
Judge, there was just some confusion regarding the rec, but I think we have it squared away. I did contact Mr. Flores, and so I do believe we have it squared away. I guess if we can just make sure to get it on the record, that way I can communicate the rec to Mr. Horton. But this is a case that will definitely work itself out, Judge.
What's the rec?
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Flores can speak to that. I'm not sure what.
Let me get in here really quick, Judge. Let's see if it's in.
Your Honor, we will be honoring Mr. Brian Herrera's original rec on this case.
What is it?
Give me 1 second, Your Honor.
Ms. Pages, is this the one, the individual who had some additional jail time that we were trying to confirm, or is this a different person?
Yes, Judge, it's him. And so the only thing I'm waiting now also is just to get the stuff from Otero County.
Uh-huh.
That way I can get you those dates as well.
Your Honor, I believe it was 10 months state jail and a dismissal of the ag assault. We do have the non-pros on the ag assault. We have not had any contact with that victim. I have confirmed it with our victim advocate this morning. So we will be honoring that that case or that rec.
Okay. Well, you all have future settings, so if that's the agreement, so be it. We'll see you at the next setting.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Judge.
Your
May
Honor.
I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Who's next? Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Page 4, Judge,
Go ahead.
in cause number 2020 0D0 2838 and 2020 0D0 4285 and 2022 0D0 0075 and 2021 0D0 2866 and 2021 0D0 2865. State of Texas versus Ruben David Ramirez. Announcement of council, please.
Guava King for the state of Texas.
Brent Stevens for Mr. Ramirez.
Okay, so our 2021 and 2022 cases are set for final judges conference. The probation cases are just tracking, I believe, with Revos. I do see some filings by defendant to include motions to suppress, Daubert motion. What's going on, Mr. Stevens? You need hearings?
I think we're getting very close to a resolution on all of these cases, Judge.
Mhm.
I would like to know if you would consider allowing him to plead to probation on the theft case and go into the gang unit while being revoked on the other 2 state jail felonies. Would you be willing to accept a plea offer like that?
So does he have prior pen trips?
He has, one of the allegations is possession of firearm by a felon. The underlying felony is a 1244A state jail felony.
Mhm.
That was not a legal plea. And the reason, so that's his felony previously. That was not a legal plea because the an attempt under that statute is a 3rd degree also. So they pled him out somehow in a 1244A state jail. So that underlying felony is there are real issues with that case because of that. But yes, that is a prior felony at this moment.
Oh, there it is. Unlawful possession.
The thing is, he went on probation just last year, late last year, and then immediately picked up these new cases. It was just almost immediate. So,
So we pick up a theft of firearm, a theft of property, and then the unlawful possession that you're talking about. Yeah.
correct.
No, I'm not looking at any probation on Mr. Ramirez.
Okay, well, you've answered my question, Judge, and I'll continue talking to the DAs, and I'll talk to Mr. Ramirez, and if we're able to resolve anything, we'll do that.
Okay, we got to do it quickly because I do have you down for a June 3rd jury trial, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Who's
Thank
next?
The last one on page 7, Judge, the admonishment.
Okay.
Let me bring him in, Judge.
Mhm. All right, are we ready?
He's gonna.
Okay, go ahead.
In cause number 2018-0D02450, State of Texas versus Andrew Rodriguez. Announcement of council, please.
Welcome for the state of Texas.
Lisa Martinez from Adult Probation. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, and Mr. Rodriguez is appearing remotely as well. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. We're scheduled for an admonishment hearing. Ms. Martinez, would you give me the update, please?
Yes, Mr. Rodriguez was placed on deferred probation on January 29, 2019 for the offense of burglary of habitation for 4 years, Your Honor. He failed to report to me on January this year. Finally, when he reported to me on February, he was instructed to provide a drug test. This drug test came out positive for THC on the 19th of February. Then on March 7, he tested positive again, and April 14, 2022, he tested positive again. I tried to make contact with Mr. Rodriguez after this U8 he provided. I couldn't make contact. I wanted to verify if he had private insurance in order to give him the provider's list for the substance abuse treatment. So finally, he reported to me on April 25th, and he verbally admitted to continue using marijuana, Your Honor, and he denied having private insurance. And that's when he was notified of this court hearing. Just to mention, Your Honor, last year he also failed to report on March 2021, and then from June 2021 to August 2021.
All right. So are you working, Mr. Rodriguez?
I am.
Where do you work?
I work at McDonald's. That's about it.
How many hours a week do you work?
I work full time, so I try to do like 8 the most.
You work how much a week? Like 40 hours a week? Or are you working?
Yeah, I try to at least make it over the 40.
Yeah. Well, you're going to do some jail time because you're not in compliance with your probation. And it seems like probation has over and over again tried to work with you. I think I've tried to work with you, but you just are not getting the message, right? You continue to test positive. You continue to have issues reporting. So I can't think of another way. It looks like we've had admonishments in 2020. It doesn't seem to resonate with you. So when can you turn yourself in?
I have no idea. I would have to figure something out.
What else do you do? Do you go to school? Do anything like that?
I'm just studying for my GED and all that because I still don't understand math very well. So been trying to do both, trying to work on my math a lot, but yeah.
Ms. Martinez, what was the probation's recommendation?
To attend substance abuse treatment, Your Honor.
And what would that entail?
Refer him to TAP. Again, he was referred on 2020, and that's when he reported having private insurance, but he never attended the substance abuse treatment.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me 5 days, consecutive days. That's going to start this Friday. You're going to have to make arrangements with work. And then he is to immediately get reevaluated by TAP and enroll in that substance abuse treatment. Yes, Marissa, Friday at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Mr. Rodriguez, you don't look to me to be like a criminal of the year or anything like that. It seems to be a discipline issue, but it's an ongoing issue that if I have to keep coming back here, I don't know what's going to help you get the message. You are going to turn yourself in this Friday. I think, do they turn themselves in, Ms. Martinez, downtown or at the annex?
I believe downtown, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Martinez is going to have the details of how you turn yourself in. When you're done with your jail commitment, you are going to start some type of treatment. That, again, you will coordinate with probation. Mr. Rodriguez, I don't want to be coming back here and hearing from probation all the time. It's real simple. When is he due to term?
He is on January 28, 2023. Next year, Your Honor.
Look at that. You've got 6 months. That's it. 6, 7 months, whatever it is, till next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's going to do those 5 days and then get him squared away with treatment. Ms. Martinez, if you have any issues, please request another hearing.
I will, Your Honor.
Actually, I don't know if we need to request a hearing. I'll leave it to you, Ms. Martinez, whether we request a hearing or you just request a bench warrant for no compliance.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All righty. Mr. Rodriguez, get with Ms. Martinez and she'll square you away. Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Who's next?
Judge, we only have Albert Romero on bottom of page 6.
Go ahead.
Let me bring him in, Judge.
Hi, Ms. Ortiz.
That's just I believe it's just to address the restitution, Your Honor.
Okay, let's go ahead and call it.
This restitution.
In cause number 2013-0D01511, State of Texas versus Albert Romero. Announcement of council.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Maria Ortiz for adult probation, Your Honor.
And Mr. Romero, can you hear me? This is Judge Perez. Yes, okay, you can go ahead and stay muted, but if I need to hear from you, I'll ask you to unmute. Ms. Ortiz, you mentioned restitution. What's outstanding?
Yes, Your Honor. So on the restitution, Your Honor, he was ordered to pay $11,463.24. He's paid $3,025. So he has a balance of $8,438.24. And I believe they want to address the restitution because his term will expire 3/31/2024, but we want to make sure that the restitution, he has enough time to pay restitution.
Mr. Romero, what's your status? Are you working? What's going on? Oh, now, go ahead.
I'm currently, I had an accident at work about 2 years ago. And so I've been getting workman's comp. So my total has dropped to only getting 70% of my usual pay. But I now recently have started making my payments. I've been trying to send $50 because I'm here in Dallas. So I'm trying to send $50 every week. And that's what I've been doing for like the past 2 months, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm just trying to get back to getting that because I know I wasn't giving anything at all at one point.
Okay. All right, it's an extensive amount of restitution, so I again, appreciate that you're making the effort, but you have to make it a priority. I know there's a lot of things these days that, we have to take care of, but I don't know that $50 a month is going to get you anywhere near paying off that restitution. So please work on that. I will say this, Ms. Ortiz, I don't know how feasible it is to, I was thinking maybe we could look at something and, increasing, making a certain amount due monthly. But if he doesn't have the resources, what I will ask probation to do, and I don't know if Dallas would do it or here, is do some type of financial review. I don't know if it necessarily makes sense to do it now. I think, it might be an ongoing thing that probation can look at, because if his financial circumstances improve, then I would definitely look at making a minimum monthly payment due. I just don't know if that's possible now. So if probation can, go ahead, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. So the probation officer did do a financial assessment on
Yay.
him, and it was just recently. It was done on February 26, 2022. And based on the information that he provided, he had an income of $29.84, and his expenses are $25.90. So that leaves him remaining with about $394 per month.
He doesn't have a lot of resources. Okay, so I'm glad they went ahead and did that. That's really good. What I think we need to look at is, monitor as maybe his financial situation may change or improve, that we reassess that. If you need to come back to the court before, let's say, a year out, because he terms in 2024, then I just ask probation to request a hearing, and we'll come back and look at it and see progress. I will not, however, set anything at this time. If probation would please make a notation to request a hearing 1 year prior to his term date, we can do another review then. Mr. Romero, obviously, when it comes to financial matters, those are really, hard to deal with. So I applaud you for being compliant otherwise, but we're going to need to keep the focus on trying to get this restitution paid out. We have a little bit of a window, so I will work with you on that, but just don't forget that has to be a priority, okay?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm trying to do $50 a week. That's what I've been sending, $50 a week. So I'm trying to see maybe like that, and then maybe with my taxes, give a little bit more.
Sure.
Because I know it is a priority.
Any progress you can make is worthwhile. And like I said, I'm probably thinking we'll look at another review about a year out. And if, I don't know, we can't always know that circumstances are going to get better. If things get worse for you, whatever, we'll need to address it. Okay.
Okay.
So,
yes, ma'am.
all righty. All right. So you're good to go, Ms. Ortiz. Thank you very much for your assistance as well.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Who's next?
I believe that's it, Judge.